How do polyglots learn so many languages? What is there to it? What's going on? How do they do this? So in this video, I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to give you my own experience and my own points of view. That's what I can do, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is behavior or point of view itself. I think that's a very important thing, that it is a behavior. It is a continuous behavior. There's no finish line. So I think that's a big issue some people have. I've already had people say to me that that's an issue they have because they expect a definite magical moment where they're going to be fluent or whatever, and they don't, and they end up not really sticking to it and creating the habit of being in contact with the language continuously. And I think that's very important for you to have this view that there's no end. It's just a behavior. It's not a one-time go, rather the adoption of a behavior. And not an analogy I could make is like working out or exercising. There's no end to exercising. It's part of your lifestyle, and you are healthy if you have that be part of your lifestyle, just working out and exercising. So it's the same thing with languages. So it's behavior, attitude, the attitude of being in contact with the language, exposing yourself to the language. So that's the point of view, just having this this behavior, okay, and not just like expecting a finish line. I think that's a good one. Another one is that the more you learn, the more you understand how it works. Like you learn a language and you've been doing this for some time. When you start learning the other one, the next one, you already know how it goes. You already know the behavior. You already know the stages, how it works. Oh my God, how it works, what to expect, what to not expect. So you're confident, you already done it many times, you know how to do it, you know how it functions. So the more you learn, the easier it becomes because you already know the process, you know how it happens. So that's one thing. So that's why this polyglots learn many languages, because after you learn a couple ones or one language, other than the first language you learn through just being alive, but when you go a bit more conscious and, okay, I want to learn languages, and you start learning, the more you learn, you just understand how it works. It's basically all the same. It's the same behavior. You know, you just like change one thing or another to a different language that has maybe different features, such as a different writing system, but like the behavior is pretty much the same. So the more you learn, the easier it gets. Aligned with that is another point of view, another point to this list. The more you learn, the more you understand how you work. So it works the same way as the previous point here. The more languages you learn, the more you understand how it works, and the more you understand how you work, what works for you, how do you function, what do you like to do, what are the things that maybe points that you find easier, points that you find more difficult. You grow more confident just knowing how it goes because of experience. You already know what to do, how to behave, what to expect from yourself because you already done it. So it's a positive snowball. The more you learn, the easier it gets, the more intuitive it is because of your own trajectory. So that's one more reason why these polyglots learn lots of languages, because the more you learn, the easier it becomes. It's a positive snowball, and it works for lots of things in life in general. So also for yourself, you understand how you work, you understand maybe methods, techniques you enjoy the most, what behavior do you enjoy the most. You learn all of that. So that's another point to it. Another one, now a bit more specific, is language families. So if you speak German and English, you're going to have a better time learning Dutch because of language structure. You are used to Germanic language structure, vocabulary. You're going to identify a lot of shared, similar vocabulary between these same family groups. And then you can just zoom out to different language families. Let's say you're learning German. Then if you learn Norwegian, you're gonna relate to a lot more things than if you start learning Italian, because it's just a different language family, different vocabulary, and different everything. At the same time, they're both European languages, so they share a lot of common things anyway. And the more you zoom out or zoom in, if you zoom out, it's going to be more different, so therefore more difficult if you want to look at it this way. Or the more you zoom in, the easier it will become, because they just share a lot of vocabulary within the same language group or within Europe. Let's say German shares more things with Italian than it does with Chinese. So if you know German, learning Italian is simpler than learning Chinese because it has a lot of features. Even the alphabet, at least you can read. In Chinese, it's a totally different writing system. So geography plays a part in this usually. If languages, they're spoken in places, neighboring places, they tend to be more familiar. That's not always the case, but that's definitely something that happens. So these language groups will also help you a lot. So you learn German, you're going to have a better time learning Dutch than learning French, because it's just more similar vocabulary and language structure. And everything adds up. Everything will help the next thing. One language would be very helpful when you're going to be learning the next language. Again, if it's the same language group, it's going to be even easier because it's more shared vocabulary and structure and all that. That would also work for listening and speaking and reading. The more you read, the more you learn vocabulary, and that's also helpful to be able to listen more to the language. And the more you listen, the easier it is to just pick up new vocabulary whilst you're reading and speaking. So everything, the more you learn, the better it becomes. The easier it becomes. Like, everything is connected. Everything about yourself, self-knowledge, you learn more, so it gets easier. About language learning, it gets easier the more you do it. About specific language families, we will only get easier within language families specifically, and also to different languages, because all languages share structure, they share lots of things. Some languages will share more things between themselves than with other ones, but ultimately, everything is helpful. Everything will add to your skills to learn the next one. And another thing would be keeping it simple. That would be connected to the behavior as well. Having fun and finding enjoyable ways to learn will make you stick to it, as compared to just making a huge deal out of it and just something that is too complicated, that takes too much time of your day, and not something that is just dynamically in your day. It just make things more difficult, and maybe will cause you to not stick to it for a long time because it's complicated. So keep things simple, keep things entertaining and fun. Try different things, see what you enjoy. And the more enjoyable things you find, and that's going to be unique to each one of us. We're different. We like doing different things. The more interesting things we find, the more we'll build this behavior, because we won't even notice it. So it's going to be effortless in a way, because you're just having a good time. Ultimately, you're just enjoying the things you're doing. So you're not even thinking about it too much. You're just spending time with the language. So keeping things simple, I think is very, very important to build this behavior. So that's it for this video. Just a couple points of views on how I like doing these things, how I like learning languages, a couple interesting points in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure lots of people, lots of polyglots out there can relate to this behavior and to what I shared here with you today. So that's it. Try a couple of these things and see how it goes for you, and keep on learning. Have a good time. You can do it. Okay. I'll see you in the next video. Adios.